Hi there, Grit here from Healing Arts. Today I want to show you in this video an exercise that I do with the clients who come and see me the first time. It tells me a lot about the client, and it's a fairly simple exercise that you can do reasonably quickly. So let's get to it. You stand by the chalkboard with your piece of chalk, and you get close to your chalkboard, not too close and not too far away. You have to have a slight bend in your arm as you do the drawing exercise. So then you want to find your heart center, your solar plexus, and then you want to kind of draw an imaginary line into the chalkboard, and that's going to be the center of your drawing. So we're going to draw a circle, and it's going to be the center of your circle. Then you place your chalk on your chalkboard and start drawing. You have to kind of feel your way into the circle. It's important that you don't panic and just sort of try and feel what the fullness of a circle will feel like. You shouldn't draw too fast. If you draw too fast, then you simply can't follow the circle. You haven't got control over your circle. But you shouldn't draw too slowly either, because if you draw really slowly, then your circle isn't fluid. So a sort of reasonable fluid movement and tempo. And then your circle, should be careful your circle doesn't get too large, but on the other hand it mustn't be too small either. There's a good reason for why we draw the circle with the center of the circle at the level of your heart, because if you draw up higher, then your circle will be a circle drawn with your head instead of from a feeling. So once you feel like you've got a reasonably round circle, you need to imagine that you have a force pressing in on the circle from the outside. So you mark the force pressing in on your circle from the outside with your chalk when you get to the top. And again, it's important that you do not slow down too much when you get to the top in order to make your indent with the force pressing in on the circle. A little bit is okay, but just not too much. So I don't want you stopping. It still has to be in a fluid, flowing motion that you draw the indent. The next thing that's important when you go into your circle is that you don't have too large a gap between the lines that you draw into your circle. So the lines should be fairly close together. You also want to try and maintain the opening of your circle so that the sides of the circle don't slip down as you draw your indent. Once you can maybe see that I'm sort of maintaining where my indent starts and finishes. This is what your circle should look like once you've finished drawing it. It should maintain its opening, so the opening shouldn't kind of slip down, nor should it start kind of moving upwards either. And the opening of the indent here shouldn't be too wide, but it mustn't be too narrow either. So that's the circle that I have all my clients draw who come and see me for the first time. And it's an exercise that you can easily do at home on a piece of paper. The only thing I suggest is that if you do it at home, you find the largest piece of paper that you have. It's not very good to do this on an A4 sheet of paper because it's simply too small. You're not going to really get the effect and you're going to be very controlled. What's important here when we do foam drawing is the movement. And in order to really get the movement, the best thing to do is standing up, or at least sitting down with a very large sheet of paper. A2 is ideal. So a large sheet of paper, because that way you really have to move in order to draw your circle and get into the circle. If you're sitting with a small piece of paper, as you can see already when I'm doing it with my hand, the movement gets much smaller. So large piece of paper if you want to try out this exercise at home. Have fun.